Little lighter mood this evening?
I guess.
What kind of went into the switch of the offense that from last night's struggles to the power they had tonight?
Well, I mean, kind of after the media yesterday, I went and looked back at that kid yesterday, and he's pretty dang good. You know, I don't want to take any credit away from him. He's pretty good. So, but on the same token, I didn't think our guys were focused in on what we could have done a better job against him, and I think we were rolling over today. We were a lot more focused on what we were trying to do. So I think that resulted in a lot better success.
Matt Cornelius has been getting some big outs here early on in the season. What kind of role do you see him having in the bullpen as the season progresses?
Very big. You know, that's a kid that just has waited his turn, and once he's gotten it, he's made the most of every opportunity, or of his opportunities that he's had. And, big situations that he's come in, and game's still in limbo, and he just kind of goes out there and does his job. So excited for him. It's you know, again, one of those things. You work ahead in the count, throw strikes, change speeds in the zone, and you can be effective. So he's been doing great.
Tire start.
Development has been kind of unexpected to you coming from the preseason. What did he, I guess, change in his 2 outings in the regular season that he might not see in the preseason? Or done better, I guess.
I mean, the moment hasn't been too big for him. He just goes and competes. And to me, that's what I ask of our pitchers is don't try to come up with something that you don't have. Just be really good at what you do have, and you're going to be fine. And some of these younger kids need to learn from that. And you know, they have better stuff, you know, than Matty does, but they don't throw strikes with it. So it's not very useful if you can't throw it over the plate. So they can take a page out of his book and learn just to stay cool and collected when they go out there and trust their stuff the way that he's been doing. And he can, you know, all these guys can be very effective if they do that, but you can't be effective when we're working behind.
Tires.
Off of that, Coach, you mentioned being able to remain collected. Burns had a home run go off on the first batter, yet he remained collected, and he ended the night on 8 strikeouts, had 7 in his first outing. Could you talk about a little bit about his mentality and how he kind of overcame that and how he developed throughout the mound tonight?
You know, and that's I told you guys that after his last start that, you know, Tom's going to give up a run or two here and there. You know, it's going to happen. He's not invincible, but the great thing about him is when he does give up runs, he doesn't seem to be rattled. He just goes right back to work and continues his game plan. And he's a very smart kid, where he kind of sensed that they were, you know, on his fastball, and so he started pitching backwards kind of on his own tonight. And the great thing about him is he's able to drop his breaking stuff in for strikes, work ahead off of that, and pitch backwards when he needs to and still be effective. And he's still got 95 in the tank when he needs it, but you know, was throwing those guys backwards and tying them into knots. So you know, Tommy's, again, I've said it before, that's why he's on Friday night for us.
One of the first things Thomas said in the presser wasn't his best night. What does that suggest about the ceiling for him this season as he continues to get ramped up, you know, with more and more starts?
Well, I think that's what you want to see out of your guys on the weekend, is that even when they don't have their best stuff, they're still willing and able to compete with what they have. They adjust based on how they're feeling and are still able to execute. Whereas, you know, a lesser guy would fold up and, oh, I don't have my best stuff today, and forget that I still got 3 other pitches I can go to. But that's what Tommy did tonight. Is he wasn't feeling great with his fastball, so he went to some off-speed stuff and pitched off of that and was very effective with it. So good pitchers are able to adjust.
Like continuing to stretch him out as the year goes on?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to need to. I think you know, with all of our starters, I think we went 75 last outing. Today the magic number was 90. I think he finished with 91 today, so that's right where we wanted him. I didn't want to leave him out there any longer than that. The next start, you know, if we need to, we'll stretch him out over, you know, up to 100 maybe if we have to. But you know, that's the kind of the plan, and what we've always stuck with here is ramping these guys up, and their health is paramount for me, you know, and I'm not gonna blow out arms early in the year just to, you know, go for wins early in the year. Yes, they're important. Obviously, this program is about winning, but not at the expense of hurting our kids. So you know, we'll ramp them up the best way we know how and stretch them out carefully.
Entire starting nine it hits tonight. Obviously, how does it speak to the depth of the lineup, but also its resilience to come back from facing a plus arm last night?
Yeah, I mean, again, they were a little bit more focused today, and I made sure they were a little more focused today. So, you know, not saying that's the reason they had a good night tonight, but I think just you could sense the aura that I was a little disappointed yesterday, and they better come with it today. So they bounced back very well.
How
do you
did
maintain that focus moving forward?
That's the trick. You know, you try not to ride them too hard, but you got to ride them enough to where they're locked in, and that's the challenges of, like I said yesterday, dealing with 18 to 22-year-old kids. You don't want to lose them, but you got to keep them sharp at the same time. So that's what makes the job fun and challenging at the same time. Yeah, they bounced back today, and a couple of them had some fun with me out there in BP. It's like, you're so pissed off today. So get us a win. I won't be so damn pissed. So, anyway, they know how to push the buttons on the flip side too.
looking
One of
at
those guys that feels really locked in right now, Isaiah Jackson, to start the season. what about his game has developed from last year, especially offensively?
Well, that's one of the guys that knows how to push my buttons a little bit. Get me smiling, you know, even though he could tell I was still a little bit hot today. So, yeah, Zay is just, you know, starting to come into his own and do what he's capable of doing. And I think we've all seen the, you know, the physical stature of him, you know, the past, you know, last year and what he's capable of doing. And then he's starting to put it all together now, which is a lot of fun. You know, continues to stay within himself, stay balanced through his swing, and it's fun to watch him hit when he's right.
Any thoughts about moving up in the lineup? Any thoughts about
We're averaging about 10 runs a game. I don't think I'm moving the lineup too much.
Jacob told us a couple of minutes ago about how you kind of preached not losing 2 in a row and bouncing back. Is that something you guys have kind of stressed after these 2 losses, making sure that it doesn't load into another game or another 2 or 3 games?
Well, I mean, you try to limit the poor play and nip it and get back to what makes us successful. So if that results in a couple losses in a row, obviously we want to stay away from that. The whole you know, this is a different because it's a 4-game series, but most of the time we're playing 3-game series. It's like you're going for the win, or you're going for the sweep, or you're not going to get swept. So you try to eliminate the bad play or the negative play as quickly as we can and move on and turn the page and get back to playing aggressive baseball. That's when we're at our best.
Are you satisfied with the way they've come back with Kansas State and tonight after those 2 losses?
Yeah, I think you know, this team is especially it's an offensive group or a group that the leadership is primarily position players. I think with the older position player group that we have, there's a few pitchers in there that are leaders as well. But I think, you know, those guys set the tone when they come to the field every day, and when they're flat, it's just like the whole outfit goes flat. So that's what I expect of them, of those older guys, the Harris Williams, the Camposes, Carstetters, Isaiah. You know, I expect those guys to come and set the tone and not let there be a lull and a hangover from one day to the next after a loss. So even though, again, I was a little on edge today, I had my guys that hey, we're going to be fine. We ain't going to lose 2 in a row. We're good. So, okay, show me. So they did, and I'm proud of the way they responded today.